Hi everybody. So something kind of starting this program when I first started out my freshman year is that only 1% of the water in the world is fresh water. 97% of all water on Earth is salt water. And of the 3% remaining, 2% of it is locked up in ice caps, glaciers, and underground, which we can't really easily access. That 1% is the amount of water that is readily accessible for our use. As you can see, water is a scarce and precious resource. Here in Kansas, water is especially important. It's critical for agriculture and it's critical for industry. It's critical for our way of life. The issues that we have with water here in Kansas are different depending on where you live in the state. Here in western Kansas, we deal with drought and the dwindling Ogallala Aquifer. In eastern Kansas, there are problems with flooding and silt buildup in reservoirs. Water conservation and awareness is needed now more than ever. I like to refer to the following quote: "I have little need to remind you that water has become one of our major national concerns. Nearly everyone in the past few years has experienced some problem caused by too much water when we do not need it, or too little water when we do need it." You would think that this quote came from an article written in the past couple of years, but it's from the 1955 Yearbook of Agriculture. Just think, 63 years ago, we faced the same exact problems that we're facing today. With my supervised agricultural experience within FFA, I've been able to educate and make many Kansans aware about what is happening with water around them and in their communities. But now, the million-dollar question remains: what can we do to conserve our water for the next generations? Men, women, and children in hundreds of communities will be studying, thinking, planning, and carrying out programs to restore the attractiveness and utility of their local water sources. By doing this, they're developing a positive appreciation for the meaning of harmonious living with their fellow man and their natural environment. As these wholesome cooperative endeavors spread throughout our states, we cannot help but become richer in mutual understanding, more secure in spirit, but more united in purpose. As I've said, water affects everyone, but it has the greatest impact on agriculture. And this is one of the reasons as to why I'm so eager to be working on such a challenging problem. In December of 1951, my grandpa Ed had returned from the Air Force to farm just north of Holcomb, where his father, my great-grandpa George, had farmed. Today, our Roth family farm has now expanded to my dad, my uncle, and my cousins. But what I speak of today, it not only affects my family, but it affects farmers and families everywhere. Because what impacts our farmers impacts our communities, and in time, impacts our state. Yes, I do realize that this is not something we're going to fix overnight, but by taking this first step forward together, we will ensure the future of our farms for generations to come. We cannot afford to not do anything. Our hope is that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, we will have transformed a generation into a culture that demonstrates an understanding of the value of water. All things, including weather and rainfall, change fast, and so our memories are short. When it rains, we forget about the Dust Bowl, and when it's dry, we forget about the floods. In an article in the November 17, 2016 High Plains Journal, Kansas Secretary of Ag Jackie McCloskey said, "Engagement at the local level is essential for the success of the vision and the statewide commitment to address our water issues. It is critical that all Kansans understand the water challenges facing our state, and they feel a connection to the role they play in the future of water in Kansas." I couldn't agree more with Secretary McCloskey. In order for us to spread the word of conserving our water, we must start at our local levels. Because the reality of this is, 30 years will go by in a flash. The conversations we have, the seeds we put in place, and ideas we put in motion are things we will have to live with. So unless we manage our water better now, we will run out in the future. No pricing or management scheme in the world would save us. The thing is with water is that there is no alternatives. Today you can easily see many alternatives to things such as food products. But water is another story. Water can't be replaced. Although we hate to admit it, there is no easy way in conserving our water because it not only affects the farmers, but it affects every single one of us. And the way it affects all of us differs. We have to take action today so that we can leave behind a legacy that we can look back on and be proud of. The first sentence in our FFA creed is, "I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born not of words, but of deeds." I have no doubt in my mind that all of you believe in the future of agriculture, in the future of our world. But if we truly believe in that future, then we must take action today so that we can leave behind a legacy that's going to be seen for generations to come. Someday soon, my fellow FFA members and myself, we're going to become farmers. We're going to become doctors, scientists, engineers, teachers. As the next generation, we have a responsibility to change the world, because the real generosity towards the future lies in giving all to the present. Thank you all very much. Today with me, I brought some people who are very important to me and who kind of inspire me to do all this with water, because they built who I am today and they built my passion for water through my family's livelihood of farming and agriculture here in Southwest Kansas. So today, as many of you know already, I have my dad, Dwayne, back there, and I have my mom and my mom's friend, Mike Lanson, and my grandparents, Ed and Martina Roth, as well. And so it's very important to me to have them here because I want them to know that if it weren't for them, if it weren't for my family's livelihood of agriculture and their passion and what they built our lives on, then it wouldn't be for me standing up here advocating for something that's so important for not only our family, but for the entire world. Because water, without it, we have no agriculture, like I said, we have no industry, and we have no way of life. And so, just knowing that they built this for us, and that hundreds of you have built your family's livelihoods, it's just so important, something that we should carry on in our lives and be proud of. Thank you all.